You can't make a sandwich by simply tossing a piece of ham onto a slice of bread. There are many, many layers of little condiments that make a sandwich what it is. In the same sense, realistic visual effects aren't made by simply layering one clip onto another. Compositing is the process of blending live-action footage with other elements. There are a ton of different steps and layers involved in this process. I'm going to be using the example of this explosion. Look at our explosion. It's bland. All we've done here is taken one single clip of an explosion downloaded from the internet and dropped it onto the footage of this tree. It's important that you use multiple elements for your effect. Let's add a couple more pieces of ham to our sandwich. We'll do this by using multiple elements. Instead of the original explosion that I had, I'll, in addition to it, add different clips of fire and smoke. This adds more depth to the effect and allows you to customize the look of your explosion. Now the fun part. Condiments. In real life, the force of the explosion and the fire would be damaging the ground and this tree. I've added some cracks onto the ground as well as some dust and debris coming from the base of the explosion. In addition, I've also added some burn marks to the tree where it would have been charred by the flame. But it still doesn't look like it's actually there. We can tell that it's a visual effect. This fire, it's fire, it produces light. But right now, it isn't casting any light onto its surroundings. So we'll isolate the places that would be lit up by the flame and brighten them. This one's often overlooked and quite subtle, but very important. We need to match the color tones of the fire to that of the environment. With the camera settings that I shot this clip with, the fire wouldn't have been this dark in some areas, so we'll brighten it to compensate. Now we need to color correct all of the fire elements to make the fire the same shade throughout and make our dust elements the same shade as the dirt. We're almost finished with our delicious looking sandwich. We've layered on all of the proper condiments and the right ham. And now, all that's left is the last piece of bread on top that ties it all together. Arguably, the best way to digitally make something look as if it is actually in a space is to put it behind something. If your camera moves, then this can be a pretty time-extensive process, but we're just working with a static shot. I'll use masking to put some of the fire behind the tree, as well as some of the dust. And now we've got a much more realistic shot. There we have it, our finished sandwich. But something's still missing. There's no plate. So we'll get a nice pretty plate to put our sandwich on. For our effect, this is camera movement. Naturally, when this explosion happened, our camera would have been shaken. Also, having a handheld look is a really great way to easily make something look as if it's real. So we'll add a digital camera shake to the entire shot to make it look as if someone is holding the camera. I'll also animate the camera to shake more when the blast occurs. If you're hardcore, then you can shoot your shot handheld and motion track it later. But keep in mind that this will make your masking a lot more difficult and time extensive. Now we just color grade the entire thing and turn on motion blur, and we've come a long way from our original clip. Anyway, that's all for today. I'll see you next week.